Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to be talking about some more terms you may or may not have heard of. Welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where the goal is to help you to take your magic to the next level. You may or may not have seen a video that I did not too long ago called Magic Terms That You May or May Not Have Heard Of. If you haven't seen that video, after you're done watching this one, feel free to go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But the idea was simply to discuss some of the magic terms that you may or may not have heard other magicians say and thought to yourself, well, what the heck does that mean? So, before we do that, just a couple of announcements. If you're not already doing so, please make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. Also keep in mind that this channel is sponsored by you. So for just $1 a month, all you have to do is click the join button and become a Mob Squad member. Members will get access to a bunch of cool stuff like tutorials, early access to videos, emojis, badges, and more. And those tutorials, holy smokes, I have over, I believe at the time of making this video, there's like 45 tutorials in that playlist, over 20 hours worth of magic tutorials, and I'm uploading one new tutorial every week or so. So make sure you guys check that out. Just like some of these awesome people did, please welcome our newest members. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Michael Steely, Skeletor611, and Christian Supa. Thank you guys so much for joining. And if you have not checked out my review on Michael Steely's Gentleman's 3 shell game, you guys should go do that because it is an awesome set of 3 shell game shells and peas and just a really well thought out routine and everything. So go show Michael some love, check out that routine, and let him know what you think of his set. Anyways, so let's jump into the contents of this video. What are some magic terms that you may or may not have heard of? At number 1, we've got equivoque, also known as the magician's choice, also known as equivoque. Not sure how to say the word exactly. I like to pronounce it equivoque. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if there's some other way to say it. Leave a comment below. I'm sure someone out there is going to correct me on it. But equivoque is how I say it. Magician's choice. It's the same thing, right? So what does this mean? It essentially means that you're giving the spectator the illusion of a free and fair choice, but in reality, the choice has already been made by the magician. So how exactly does this work, right? So let's just say I have an object in one of my 2 hands, and I need the spectator to pick the hand that has the object in it. Let's just say the object is over here in my left hand. I might say something like this. Hover your 2 hands over mine. Now go ahead and lift one of those 2 hands up. Any hand that you want, it doesn't matter. Let's just say they lift the hand over this hand here, the one that contains the item. If they lift that hand, really simple, then all I do is just turn this hand over and I reveal the item inside, right? Because that's the hand that I wanted them to choose. Now, what if they lift the other hand? Well, if they lift the other hand, their hand is still hovering over this one, so in their mind, they might think maybe that's the hand that I'm choosing. So I turn this hand over and I reveal the item inside. So the way that you script it keeps it vague enough that it doesn't really matter what they do. You're always going to reveal the hand that has the item in it. So that in a nutshell is equivoque. I did a whole video on this talking about equivoque and branching techniques and multiple outs and all this stuff. Make sure you guys check that video out if you have any more questions about equivoque. And if I don't answer them in that video, feel free to leave a comment and let me know if you guys have any questions, because I do know it is a confusing subject for a lot of people, including me sometimes. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Next up, we are talking about gimmicks and gaffs. So you may or may not have heard this before, like, oh, it's a gaff deck, or oh, the magician's using some kind of gimmick. So what does that mean exactly? A gaff or a gimmick simply refer to some kind of secret apparatus that the magician is using to kind of allow him to make the magic happen. Sometimes the gimmick is hidden and you never see it. Other times the gimmick can be built into ordinary looking props. For example, maybe I have a gimmicked box that when I open it, it looks empty inside. I close it, I snap my fingers, and I open it again, and then an object appears inside. The way that that works is that there's maybe some kind of secret compartment or something inside of this box. The box looks completely ordinary, but it is gimmicked because it has some kind of hidden thing inside that allows me to produce an item. So that is an example of a gimmick, right? Also, maybe there's a gimmicked coin, a coin that hides inside of another coin. Or maybe there's gimmicked cards. When we're talking about gimmicked cards, usually we will refer to them as gaffs. So entire decks can be gaffed. In fact, I started a series called Gaff Decks 101. If you guys want to check that out, I've already done a video on the Svengali deck, and I'll have plenty more coming out in the future. But a gaff deck is a deck of cards that is specifically prepared to allow you to do certain tricks. In some cases, the gaff deck can be handed out and examined by the spectators. In other cases, the gaff deck is only handled by the magician. It really depends on the gaff deck that you're using. You can also gaff individual cards. So maybe you have one card that's what we call like a double facer, where it's like an ace of hearts on one side, and you turn it over and it's an ace of diamonds on the other side. Or maybe a double backer, where it's got a back on both sides. Or maybe it's a blank card, where it's got nothing on one side, or a double blank, right? So there's all kinds of different cool gaff cards. Maybe you have gaff cards that do something kind of cool, like you shake it and it changes from, you know, like an ace of hearts to, you know, a six of clubs or something, right? So there's a lot of really cool gaffs and gimmicks out there. And sometimes I'll hear magicians kind of say, I want to shy away from using gaff decks, or I want to shy away from using gimmicks. I only ever want to use sleight of hand. Well, sometimes you can incorporate some really cool gimmicks into your magic to make for some really impossible moments that would not work unless you were using said gaff or said gimmick. All right, next up is underground magic. So underground magic, does that mean I have to go to like a subway or to go to the tube and do magic tricks like literally underground? No. All underground magic means is magic that is performed by people that is not a marketed thing that you can go buy. So usually when a magician comes up with their own magic trick and then they perform it, they are performing some kind of underground effect because no one else really knows about it. No one else really knows the secret. Only you do, right? And then a magician might take that effect and put it to the market. So that's not an underground effect anymore. Now it is a commercial effect, right? So commercial really just means an effect that's out on the market. You can go buy it, you can learn the trick, and you can go perform it for people, right? A lot of magicians will take the term commercial and use it colloquially, if I can say that word, to mean like a worker, right? So what is a worker? A worker is a piece of magic that a magician is going to be able to use in the real world, right? It's practical, it's easy to perform, it resets. There's not a whole lot of crazy setup involved or anything like that. It's a trick that they're going to take to a gig to go, it's a worker. They're going to go use it in working sets. They're going to go take it to the restaurant and perform it. They know that it's going to work if they do it over and over and over again. So sometimes you'll hear someone say, oh, that trick is like really commercial, right? Really what they mean is it's like a worker. It's like a good trick to go out and perform for people. All underground means is that the trick is just not on the market. If it's commercial, it means it's on the market. And if it's a worker, it means it's something that you're going to use that's practical, that you're going to go out and you're going to really perform for people. I hope that these terms kind of clarified for you guys a little bit. I know that there's a lot more kind of crazy, weird terminology and stuff out there. If you guys have any weird terms that you've heard of before that I did not include in this video or in the other video, drop a comment and let me know. I'm going to try to gather up some more of these terms, and I'll make another video talking about even more magic terms that you may or may not have heard of. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to check out some more magic, visit us at o'brienmagic.com and be sure to check out our online magic shop, where you will find the latest and greatest magic books, downloads, and accessories.